Now here's a guy on MSNBC who lets the cat out of the bag. He says the silent part out loud. Watch this.
And we've started to hear this more and more, and we'll probably have a better sense, obviously, Tuesday after the 1,300 delegates that are up for grabs there are spoken for. But this idea that perhaps Bernie Sanders is moving the goalposts a bit when it comes to delegates and what could go down at the convention in Milwaukee. What say you to that?
Well, I will say that Bernie is moving the goalposts. This is what people need to remember. The Democratic Party has a party. The party decides its nominee. The public doesn't really decide the nominee. The public gets to vote for President of the United States, but people who are active in the party, who participate in the party, they decide the nominee. Superdelegates are very influential in the party. Also, delegates are very influential. And just because you're a pledged delegate for Bernie Sanders or a pledged delegate for Joe Biden doesn't mean when you get to the convention floor that you'll stay a delegate for Biden or Sanders. That's a process. And so it is a process to pick the candidate who wants to be the standard bearer for the party to try to win in November. And so Bernie got to understand that process. And
Bernie's got to understand that process. You know, the process that fucking cheated him last time? He's got to understand that. I think he understands that process. So they're just saying it out loud. I don't know if you guys get it, but the public doesn't get to decide the nominee. When the general comes along, then Russia decides. But right now, this is the shit they're put. And here's somebody puts it perfectly. He goes, during the primary, the DNC says your vote doesn't matter, get lost. But during the general, get out and vote for our appointee. Please help us. We're begging you. Oh my God, what do you want Trump to win? Yeah, I got your fucking unity. I got your fucking unity. So here is Chris Hayes and David Plouffe, who was a Barack Obama administration official, and watch what they say about this idea of stealing delegates. I mean, of stealing the nomination by using superdelegates.
Yeah, it's possible that we're going to have somebody who doesn't have a majority of the pledged delegates. I believe that whoever is the plurality leader, unless literally it's a delegate or two, right. But even if somebody has a 50 to 100, we're really going to take the nomination away from them in Milwaukee? I'm not sure the party recovers that for decades.
I completely agree with that, right? That like if you go into the convention with a plurality lead, the idea of that convention being like, sorry, like,
thanks for playing.
Yeah, thanks for playing.
And,
we're just going to.
And the party bosses have decided the person who got the most delegates is now not going to be the nominee. Like, parties don't recover from that for a long time.
And you would think Elizabeth Warren used to agree with that.
In most democracies around the world, the person who gets the most votes wins. How about we make America that kind of democracy?
I'm with ya. She's not with her. That's the problem. So now she's all about superdelegates. And Crystal Ball says, let's be clear about what this PAC is, her Super-Pac. Yeah, Crystal Ball's fantastic, isn't she? So she says, let's be clear about what this Super-PAC is for Elizabeth Warren. It's a Stop Bernie PAC. Warren isn't projected to win a single state. Do you really think donors would throw in millions at this point because they believe she can win? No, it's because they believe bolstering Warren will keep Bernie from the majority, and she's going along with it. In fact, here's an MSNBC reporter who lets the cat out of the bag. Watch this.
And when you talk to her supporters, they say, look, the fight isn't over. In fact, one person close to the campaign I talked to in just the last few hours said that tonight is about blunting the momentum for Bernie Sanders. That is what they are paying attention to.
Why would she do that? I thought her and Bernie were friends and they had the same agenda. And it's almost like she's a fucking Republican. It's almost like, so here is Elizabeth Warren goes down with Chris Hayes, right? Who's one of my favorite nerds. And, right, because I like to watch him justify showing Trump's empty podium while he's not covering Bernie Sanders and then still sleep at night. Anyway, So here he actually outlefts Elizabeth Warren. He asked her about all that Super-PAC money, right?
I don't know if you know that once upon a time I was a Native American. That was because Mom and Dad talked about it all the time. And then I was fired when I was a teacher. But that was a whole nother story. And if you visit my merch store, you'll be able to get some flip-flops.
Oh, I like the flip-flop joke. She runs for president while wearing flip-flops. I like that. That'd be, if I was a political cartoonist, I would draw that. But I can't draw for anything. All right, so here she is talking to Chris Hayes. Let's watch.
There is a Super-PAC that has announced they will be spending $9 million in television ads on your behalf. It's called a She Persists Super-PAC. Now,
she persists because sheep insist. Come on, that's a nice alliteration. All right, thank you. And by the way, Ron Placone wrote it, so if you don't like it, Oh, people love Ron Placone. All right, so let's get back to this stupid clip. Here we go.
You have been incredibly critical. Super PACs, you've been incredibly critical of the role of big money in politics. I want to read you something that you tweeted just in February. You said, let me be clear, I won't take a dime of PAC money in this campaign. I won't take a single check from a federal lobbyist or billionaires who want to run a Super PAC on my behalf. What happened?
So look.
You know, when Chris Hayes is out lefting you. Okay.
I have been in the same position since I started in January of last year, and that is we should keep super PACs and unlimited spending out of this campaign.
Yeah, should and will are two different things. She said we should keep super PACs out. Well, will you? Fuck no. And why won't she? Well, here's why.
Called on everybody, join me in this. Make this happen. Please, please, please. And
she called on everybody in the race to please make this happen, except she didn't have to call on Tulsi or Bernie Sanders because they were already not taking super PAC money. They were leading. They were leading. Okay.
Nobody would do it. And we could shut down super PACs tonight if all of the candidates would agree. We're not going to do super PACs, but I also have to add, that also includes Michael Bloomberg, who is a walking, talking super PAC.
You know that walking, talking super PAC is also Michael Bloomberg's Tinder profile? Did you? If I didn't stumble over it, that joke would have worked way better. Such a good joke, and I effed it up. All right, there's more. There are more. Get ready.
Shut down unlimited spending. We just all have to decide to do it, and that's what I still want to do.
So I don't know if you noticed, but what Chris is doing right now, he needs a second to absorb the bullshit she just said. You notice that pause? That's not a delay. He's like, fuck. She's really doing this. Yeah. Okay, here we go.
There's a little bit of a transparency issue, it strikes me. So you made an announcement and came...
Describing Liz Warren as having a little bit of a transparency issue is certainly a delicate way to put it. Hey, do you guys remember the story of Pinocchio, the wooden puppet, whose nose would grow anytime he suffered from a crisis of transparency?
Show and said, look, I'm not going to do big high dollar fundraisers. I think it's corrupting fundamentally. I'm going to raise money through small donations over the internet. I'm not going to do a super PAC. But now you have a situation where you are raising grassroots money. There's a super PAC. We don't know who's donating. I have no idea who came up with the $9 million. Is it one person? Is it a few rich people that want to see you elected? If you were doing high dollar fundraisers, we'd at least have the names under federal finance law. Like, isn't that a problem? We don't know where this money comes from.
Look, and I've already said they should put out who their donors are, and they should do it before Super Tuesday. I think that's right, but
When she keeps saying they, doesn't she mean I? They should put out, okay.
Understand this, Chris. This is something that we could solve. When I ran in 2012, my Republican opponent and I agreed we were going to keep Super-PAC money out of the race, but it takes everybody to be doing on the same level playing field, and I still think that's the right way to do it. But when you're talking about Super-PACs, you got to get everybody, plus Michael Bloomberg and his unlimited spending.
So what she's saying is, yeah, I'd be willing to get rid of Super-PAC money after everyone else does it, and then I'll follow because I'm a leader. It's the opposite of, okay, here we go.
That's the way I think it ought to work, and I still think that's the way it ought to work.
Remember, folks, a real leader does what everyone else does first. What the fuck has Elizabeth Warren gotten out of this? What is she getting out of this except a promise from some billionaire somewhere that we are going to take care of you for the rest of your goddamn life? Why else would she fucking devolve like this? I haven't seen a fucking fall like this in a primary.
Ever.
God, this is Shakespearean, for fuck's sake. Nobody fucking likes her. Progressives don't like her. Centrists don't trust her, which is why she's not even going to win her own fucking state. In fact, here it is. Here's new polling. Sanders at 25%. Hey, the Jimmy Dore Show is coming to a town near you with a live show. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all tickets to all our live shows. See you in Minneapolis, Chicago, Miami. Plus, become a premium member of the Jimmy Dore Show. We give you hours of bonus material every week. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com/join. Thanks for your support.